Hi, everyone. My name is Shervon Laurice. Welcome back to the channel. I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor, and today we are going to talk about 4 strategies to get the most out of therapy, the most out of your counseling experience. Oftentimes I've heard from people when they say, I've tried therapy before, but it didn't work or it doesn't work. And sometimes you have to wonder how much were they putting into their therapy process, because it's not just about what your therapist does, but it's also about what we as individuals, when we go to therapy, what we put in to our therapy process, what efforts we put in. So 4 strategies. The first one is to know what it is that you want to talk about in therapy, whether that's a big umbrella issue or several smaller issues or things that just come up from the day-to-day life that you're living in between your therapy sessions. So going in knowing what you want to talk about. And it can be related to if you have an anxiety diagnosis or depression diagnosis or some other diagnosis, or it could be unrelated. Maybe it's just life. Maybe it's something going on in your workplace, something going on in your family life, between you and a partner, whatever it might be. Just know, so that when your therapist, for instance, when I start my therapy sessions with clients, I'll say, hey, how are you doing today? What thoughts have been moving through your mind since the last time we met? And that's one way to get that going. So know what you want to talk about. I do have clients who come to therapy with an actual notepad. They'll sit down in the before times, before everything became virtual, and they would flip open the notepad and they'd start. Nowadays, people have notepads on their phones. And so they'll take out their phone and go to the notepad section on their phone. Because from week to week, or for some clients, their sessions are every 2 weeks, you forget what may have happened 10 days ago that you wanted to bring to therapy. So know what you want to talk about. The second strategy for getting the most out of therapy would be taking into account what it is your therapist is suggesting for homework, whether it's an idea for you to think about and journal about, something for you to read that's related to what you brought up in your therapy session, anything that can be related to homework, so to speak, that you would want to do between sessions. Oftentimes, homework is given so that whatever you talked about in that session can take root in your day-to-day life. And I know that we all get busy, but if that homework is then not done, the thing that you talked about in today's session doesn't allow itself to get moved forward, so that you're at a different place in your next session. Now, granted, something bigger could have happened between sessions that mutes that, and you have to come in and talk about something else. That does happen. But generally speaking, if you can do the homework, read the thing, think about the idea, journal, have the conversation that needs to be had, do the thing at work that needs to be done that you agreed to do with your therapist, then it helps to move your process along that much faster. I think another thing that would be helpful is thinking about your issues from a solution-focused perspective. Not that every problem has an immediate solution, but we all have some level of agency in our lives and some level of agency in the situations that we're talking about in therapy. And if you are talking with your therapist and they come up with some ideas about how you may want to either shift your thinking, shift the way that you are interacting with someone or others, something that you may want to add or let go of in your life. Talk with your therapist in a way about what that solution could look like. It may not solve the problem completely, but it may help to bring the intensity down around that issue, because we can't control other people, but we can control our own behavior, our own ways that we approach a situation and interact with people. So thinking more solution focused, maybe even inspiration, something that you think about that could inspire you to do things a little bit differently. And then the fourth strategy is adding self-care practices to your day-to-day life, like meditation. Meditation allows you a time to calm the fluctuations of the mind and to really allow anything that you're working on, whether that's in therapy or in some other self-help medium, to really sink in. It allows you to let go of old ways of seeing things, of maybe believing things, and allows you to open up to seeing things a little bit differently. It unties those knots that we've been carrying around, maybe since childhood, about who we are and what we are in the world or should be in the world. And so meditation just allows you to step out of your own belief system and identity to see yourself maybe in a new way. And that can aid your therapy process greatly. And to add to that, the meditation piece under self-care is, how are you taking care of yourself overall? Getting enough sleep, getting out and walking in fresh air. How are you nurturing yourself with food? What are you listening to in reference to news, radio, music? All those things are playing a role in your self-care and how you see yourself, how you move forward, or how you limit yourself. Meditation is huge with that. Some of the things that have shifted for me in my life that I do differently came up for me in meditation, because it was a time for me to contemplate my life in a different way. So I have often advocated for meditation, for therapy. So that's it. Those are the 4 strategies that you can use to help move your therapy process along in a healthy way.